What is up, you beautiful people? Now, I am sorry. I know it's like 5 p.m. Central here. We took a long time to get y'all this stream, but my thought process is I would rather wait a few extra hours to see if we get any additional news that I can cover and really try to give you the best advice that we can for your lineups this week. So yeah, let me know. Would y'all rather us do this earlier in the day, even if it means maybe we miss 1 to 2 key pieces of news? God knows what I was just saying there. Or would you rather me do this in the morning? Just whatever you want is what I want to do for you. So just please let me know. But let's go ahead and let's dive into all the injuries that we have here, ladies and gentlemen. First off, we've known this for a day now. Kyler Murray is going to be good to go this week. Now, with Kyler Murray, he is someone that I don't necessarily want to fire up immediately because I would assume that he's not going to run the ball as much as he would have if he was not coming off a torn ACL. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, definitely look at him as someone that has top 10 quarterback upside. I mean, almost immediately based off the rushing upside we've seen in the past, he's been a top 5 quarterback. I'm not going to expect him to be a top 5 guy, top 10, probably, right? Top 12. And if you needed a streamer, definitely go with him. But obviously, it's not sitting out there on your waiver wire anymore. Now, T. Higgins ruled out. We're actually going to look later on in this video what the realistic timeline may be for T. Higgins. But yeah, I mean, really not too many changes. If you're looking at Tyler Boyd, he actually kind of split the wide receiver 2 role with no T. Higgins last time we saw Higgins out of this offense. So I'm not even starting Tyler Boyd. Curtis Samuel is actually going to be good to go. We'll look at this a little later on, but you want to go ahead and you want to bump up both Terry McLaurin as well as Jahan Dotson. I'm sorry, bump down those guys for that reason. Drake London, going to be good to go. Not super excited to play Drake London, but I do think that this means that the tight ends here, such as Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith. Why can I not talk today? I think that you have to move those tight ends down just a bit. Going over to Houston, Nico Collins, Dameon Pierce, neither will play week 10. Now, we are going to have Robert Woods. Now, if you're looking at what we have with the target share in this offense, probably have to start Tank Dell, right? I mean, if you're looking at Tank Dell's underdog pick'em here, I mean, they're going to be pretty aggressive with Tank Dell today. They currently have Tank Dell at, I believe like 60-ish total yards. Yeah, they have Tank Dell at 62.5 total yards for his projection. To put this in baseline, you currently have Chris Olave at 62.5 total yards as well. So while I 100% want to say that, yeah, I'm going to start Olave over Tank Dell just to see that Underdog is projecting them out in a similar range, probably does tell us that we should be looking to start Dell at the minimum this week. Now, Jamar Chase is still questionable. Sadly, I was really sitting here waiting all day to see if Jamar Chase would play. We have a little more insight of this later on in the video. But if Chase plays, we're for sure going to play him. What's nice is obviously he plays at noon on Sunday. So we should have that clarity by the time we need to make the decision. You're not going to have Treylon Burks. Honestly, Treylon Burks, maybe you can go ahead and cut him at this point. I think that this does mean you can start DeAndre Hopkins though. TJ Hawkinson is questionable. Now with TJ Hawkinson, I am operating under the assumption that he is going to play. I am planning on putting him in our lineup. If you look at his underdog pick'em, right now TJ Hawkinson is hovering around 49.5 receiving yards, 7 targets. Now, of course, if Hawkinson's ruled out, then we'll pivot. But until we see that, I'm planning on starting him. And it's a noon game. We should get the clarity. Jaron Hall is going to be out. So if you're looking at Joshua Dobbs, I think you can play him, right? We're not going to have Justin Jefferson this week, but you have Jordan Addison. You probably have TJ Hawkinson. And obviously, Dobbs has rushing upside as well. So I think you could go forward and use him as a streamer if you had Tua or Mahomes this week. Now, Demercado is going to be out. This will be important when we look at James Conner later on. Michael Wilson's actually going to play. Demario Douglas is listed as questionable. I'm not playing any New England Patriot, not named Ramondre Stevenson. The offense just simply is not good enough. Going over in that same game, Josh Downs and Alec Pierce are still questionable for this contest. I'm not going to start either guy. I mean, we kind of said it last week with Downs. He was actually my second most drafted wide receiver this year on Underdog. So really hope that the guy's going to come back soon. Really hope that he does well. In reality, he's not like the player that you want to be playing injured, right? I mean, he's a borderline start as is. If he is ever a game time decision, we just know, okay, yeah, we're just not starting this guy. Now, going over to Detroit, David Montgomery, not even listed on the injury report. Sounds like Montgomery will be 100%. And if you look at how Underdog currently is projecting out this Detroit Lions backfield, they are moving Jahmyr Gibbs down to 58.5 total yards for his Underdog pick'em. Now, I literally wouldn't even mind going higher on every single one of these Underdog lines for Gibbs. I think that you're most likely going to have David Montgomery as the running back that's involved in the red zone. So Montgomery is still 100% startable, of course. I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is primarily going to be the receiving down back, but I think that both running backs will be startable. Should be a very high-scoring contest. And at the same time, with Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously has the reception volume. If you were playing in a non-PPR league, however, that's where you could go through, and that's where you could bench Jahmyr Gibbs. Full PPR, I'll be excited to play him. And of course, if you wanted to check out any of those Underdog pick'ems, if you want to go check out Jahmyr Gibbs for more than 58.5 total yards, you can find that link in the description, comment section, live chat. Promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match, plus our rest of season fantasy football rankings and tiers, and that Garrett Wilson special pick'em more than less than half a total yard, ladies and gentlemen. But going over to our next one, Keaton Mitchell will be playing, but with that being said, I'm not playing Keaton Mitchell. Really, I wouldn't want to start any of the Baltimore running backs here. Even Gus Edwards, even though Edwards is scoring 2 touchdowns a week. I mean, if you are looking at Gus Edwards and all these backs, they're going to be in a committee, and it is a very, very tough matchup going up against the Browns. Now, Christian Watson is not listed on the injury report for week 10. Now, I drafted a lot of Christian Watson. I mean, we looked at his yards per route run last year. I was going, oh my gosh, this guy has upside. I'm going to chase the upside. Just has not worked out. Every single week, this guy gets banged up. I'm really hoping that he stays healthy, and I'm really hoping that all of a sudden we can look at him going forward and say, oh, okay, yeah, let's for sure get this guy in our starting lineup. But we literally have not seen anything all season, and it's week 10. So while I have a lot of Christian Watson, you just simply can't start him. Zay Jones going to be out. You can bump up Ridley, bump up Kirk. And I know if you look at the splits with and without Zay Jones for Ridley, he actually was better in the game or two that Zay Jones played in. Super small sample. I don't necessarily think you take too much away from it. Deebo Samuel will be 100% good to go. Definitely start Deebo Samuel in this game. If you're looking at George Kittle, bump him down. You're still starting him, just lower expectations. Now, Kenneth Walker, not listed on the injury report. JSN, not listed on the injury report. So both those players you can go get in your starting lineup in a great matchup against Washington. Obviously, I'd be much more excited about Kenneth Walker than I would be Jackson Smith-Njigba, at least for the short term, however. Now, we already talked about Curtis Samuel playing. You move down Dotson, move down McLaurin. James Conner will be good to go. Now, if you look at the expectations that they have on Underdog for James Conner here, a spot where you're probably not super excited to go through and play him. I mean, right now they have James Conner currently at 8.35 fantasy points for his more than less than. If you really wanted to go say he's going to score more points than that, you do you. In reality, I'm sitting here going, you know what? I mean, I just don't know. I think that he's 100% someone that we're going to be buying low on, but I would rather kind of just be a little patient. Start him next week after we see him look good on the football field, right? No reason to just go out there and rush to play him immediately. Now, going over to Justin Jefferson, this was also a player that I was really hoping that I was going to have an update for y'all, and we actually do, but it's a bad update. Justin Jefferson officially ruled out for week 10. Kind of sucks. I mean, if you had Kirk Cousins fully healthy, if this team was still contending, honestly, I think there's a chance that Jefferson would have been back by now, but obviously, there's just no reason for a young stud wide receiver to risk himself in the slightest when he'd be much better off just making sure he's going to get paid. I mean, when his team's not in contention, of course. We already talked about Michael Wilson playing. Not super interested. Now, let's go over and check out what Deepak has to say. So this is an actual doctor, ladies and gentlemen. Someone that's smart, not like me. Follow him on Twitter. SportsMD Analysis. Usually has great stuff. But anyway, NFL injury updates. Jamar Chase, data projects 2 out of 3 chance he plays. Moderate performance dip, likely 100% by next week. If Chase plays, he plays Chase. He plays at noon, so we'll get some clarity by the time you need to make the decision. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Chase is most likely going to play, and yeah, I think you can go through and start him. Stephon Diggs is someone that we don't really know at this point. So if you were personally very scared regarding Stephon Diggs, I wouldn't fault you if you wanted to go through and play someone else later day Sunday. That way you didn't have to roll the dice. Now, of course, with that being said, if on the other hand, you're looking at a spot where, I don't know, you have Gabe Davis as a backup, then of course you just plan on playing Stephon Diggs. Then if he's not good to go, you go Gabe Davis instead. Now, Kyler Murray essentially saying, yeah, he's probably not going to run the ball as much, but should be good throwing it. Jefferson should have came back this week, but most likely just going to be back next week. T. Higgins looking like a 2-week injury. Most likely we are going to be getting him back week 12. David Montgomery should be 100%. TJ Hawkinson, not sure for sure. Not sure for sure. What am I talking about? But anyway, data projects 70% chance of playing. Moderate performance hit, as these are very painful. He'll take a Tylenol. He'll be fine. Or ibuprofen. 49ers, Deebo Samuel should be good to go. Expect near 100% performance. Drake London playing. Slight re-injury risk, but should not be impacted really too much here. But I think that should be about it for all the injury updates. Ladies and gentlemen, I tried to wait as long as I could for y'all today. I mean, like I said, please in the live chat right now, let me know if you would rather me do this earlier in the day. My thought process is I just want to make sure that I get literally every piece of news that I can find on the internet. That way I can give it to you before you have to make that decision. If not, I could do it Saturday morning if y'all want a little more time to watch it. But let me know. And of course, thank you so much for everything. I really do appreciate y'all. And if you have not done so already, please go down there, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. And if you wanted to check out any of those pick'ems over on Underdog Fantasy, and yeah, get that Garrett Wilson more than less than half a total yard, find that link in the description, comment section, live chat, promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match, plus our rest of season fantasy football rankings and tiers. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, that Garrett Wilson special pick'em. But yeah, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate y'all. I will be live probably in about 3 hours to answer all your questions. So yeah, really hope I get to see you then. Hook 'em Lawrence. And we will beat the crap out of TCU in about 1 hour. But thank you so much for everything. I appreciate y'all.